Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time. We're talking club rugby and yeah, certainly club rugby is, well, let's just say club rugby is, I would go so far as saying it's almost 100% back. But yeah, fantastic to have so much action at the moment. We've got logs, we've got results, we've got fixtures, we've got behind the scenes activity from Western Province Rugby, women's rugby, senior rugby. But of course, club rugby is what we talk about here on the show. Big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. You're going to have yourself a chance to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. And of course, lots of Score Energy Drinks jerseys behind me. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. And of course, as you know, a little bit later, we'll do a close-up on MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Thorburn Security Solutions on board with Cape Rugby TV, and they've just also come on board with Western Province Rugby, helping the women's rugby side. So there's a fantastic solution. We'll do one of the highlights. There you see the Thorburn Security Solutions behind me right now. And of course, Iceberg Aircons and Compressors. And we'll tell you a little bit more about them a little bit later. But joining me on the show this evening, Robert Willifear from Hamilton's. Robert, welcome back, or welcome. Is it the first time for you or not?
First time in studio. Thank you, Jake.
First time in studio. I think the last time we spoke to you guys was right before the, was it the Sevens at Newlands?
The Western Province Sevens tournament end of last year, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was just amazing to have rugby back going. I think that was a start to whatever now is busy with a great season.
Yeah, I remember that was quite a special day because we were getting we were live broadcasting that day, and we were getting messages from folks sitting at Hamilton's because of course at the time no spectators allowed, very difficult, but Hamilton sitting in the clubhouse watching the broadcast.
It was amazing. I mean, just that experience of being back at Newlands, just seeing the light on the players. Some of those guys never put their foot on that grass. So yeah, just it was an amazing tournament. Absolutely kudos to Western Province for arranging something like that.
It's been, I mean, you guys from a Hami's point of view, you like everybody else, it's been a tough 2 years, but lucky to be back now. Yeah,
look, I mean, this, like you said, you referred to it as almost being 100% back. For us, it's back, it's on. We're grafting 3 times a week from our juniors up to our seniors. So yeah, it's just exciting. I mean, you just need to take it step by step, and obviously the 2 years was hard, and you can see it, I think, in some of the injuries that some of the players are picking up, but slowly but surely, we're almost getting to halfway of the Super League, yeah. And but yeah, it's just absolutely awesome to be going full on.
So if we look at the end of 2019, if we go back to sort of the last time that we had, let's say, matches playing at like 80, 90, 100% capacity, are you guys back to that sort of level? Like if we look at call it the top 6 Durbels and Unimills and Marties and Hammies and False Bay, do you guys feel like that competition at that level is back to normal, or are we still getting there?
JP, we obviously saw a few guys, if you want to refer to them as the smaller clubs that made some surprises this year, and they're beating big teams. And I always say, if you want to be in the top of the Super League, you need to beat one of the top 6. Yeah. I think we're up there. We had a slow start to this year's season, but we've turned it around. We're taking it, as I say, step by step. We had to realign our values and get our momentum back. And but yeah, it's definitely. Look, I always think there will be the top 6. And those will be the ones that you either need a surprise against, or the ones that you need to go and beat either at your home field or away if you want to enter into that 6.
Well, I mean, one of the things that we've seen over the last few years is sort of the coaches collective, if you will, coaches talking to each other. We know in Super League, you guys you share quite a lot of information, especially to help get your clubs up to a different level. Information comes from Western Province. Is that level of I'll call it communication, of gees, if you like, back?
Yeah,
almost.
I think it's going well. I think for the first time in 2 years, clubs are talking more to each other. Yeah. We are sharing more information. I think at the end of the day, it's just about rugby. It's about what's happening in all of these leagues. And if we can all just add a little bit of value to it, it just makes it much more beautiful product at the end of the day.
100%. Robert, of course, you guys played against UWC this past weekend. We were on the side of the field. We managed to get some of the highlights. Let's take a look at the match, and well, you can give us your input. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, there we go. Halftime score there, I believe it was 12-6. Robert, UWC, of course, had a lot of experience coming out of the Varsity Cup, and you guys, both of you, in fact, playing away from home there at City Park. How was that?
Always nice to go back to Athlone. I mean, I refer back to it as in the 90s when I last played there. And always feel welcome. Facilities are still amazing. Yeah, UWs, we show them the same respect that we show any of the Varsity Cup teams. Yeah. I mean, we know it's been a hard start to the year for them, but we never underestimate someone like UWs. We had a slow start, played a bit into the wind, just couldn't gel right from the start. Yeah. And I think the 12-6 reflection on the first half was probably more or less how the game was.
Right, well, let's not give away the whole game plan just yet. Of course, folks, if you want to see the final score, you need to stay tuned. Of course, don't forget, a little bit later during the course of the show, and I've got Robert who's going to tell us a little bit more about some of how the game went. And, of course, we're also going to keep him here for the opportunity to do the Spot the Ball competition, where you can also win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks during the course of the show. Incidentally, there you see all the Score logos behind me right now. And of course, don't forget, folks, this week we go down to the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby Training, where Thorburn Catering is getting involved with the DHL Western Province Rugby Women's side. We'll be back after the break, and we take a look at the second half highlights between Hammies and UWC. Right, welcome back, everybody. Nice to have you along. You're watching Cape Rugby TV every Wednesday night here on Cape Town TV. 9 p.m. through to 10 p.m. Don't forget, of course, you can catch our repeat on a Saturday morning from 9 a.m. through to 10 a.m. In studio with me, Robert Olivier, Hamilton's rugby coach. From a player club point of view, Robert, how's the club? I mean, we're always talking here about the first team, but we know you guys have been. You've had a pretty busy season already. You know, if I look, we had women's rugby at your club. The club seems busy. There's spectators. There's people enjoying the facilities. You've got youth rugby development. It's been busy.
Yeah, it's a lot of things happening every day of the week there. If it's not the Springboks having an alignment camp there, yeah. It's Western Province or the Stormers practicing there. Full day, 3-4 days a week with our junior club. Yeah, I think the gears is good, JP.
I mean, that whole area around Hamilton's has turned into like a whole hub, a whole activity in the last 10 years with the Eco Park there and the Stormers and Province now moving to the Cape Town Stadium. I mean, there's a lot of activity, the people knocking on your door probably for parking every day.
Yeah, it's amazing. We have people already planning the Sevens World Cup for functions to be hosted. Rent out the field, rent out
there's
the catering.
A lot of benefits there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen, the main thing is you guys were playing at UWC. This was the time you were not at your home ground. You were playing at City Park. Let's take a look now. Second half highlights, folks, and then we'll give you the result. And we'll, of course, catch up with the captains and coaches as well. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, welcome back. Right, so, Robert, you guys will be happy with that result then. Hamilton's winning 39 points to 18. It's quite a bounce back in the second half.
Yeah, I think we had a hard talk at halftime. Our forward coach, Greg van Jaarsveld, was immense. He just calmed the guys down, just got them back into our structure, and demanded that we play for each other and stick to our guns.
What comes next for you guys now?
Our next game is a home game against the mighty Brackenfell. After that, we've got a bye, a very welcome bye, and then it's one of the big ones for us. Unimel home again.
How important, when you talk about a bye and you seem to say that it's a welcome, how important is player management for you guys now across the season? We always ask this from the coaches, like managing your players, because it's good information for any coach who's coaching at a club. I mean, do you manage your players? Do you rest some players, give them a week off? Is that quite important from a club point of view?
I say with our medical team and Ross Beckett, our SNC involved, myself and Greg, they keep us up to date of where our guys stand.
Yeah.
I believe that your top players needs to be rested. There needs to be a rotation. And for that, you have to have other guys that buys into the vision and put the club before themselves. Yeah. And we're lucky so far. We have players that's prepared to do that.
Right, folks. Well, there you go. Player management, of course, very important for any club structure. And we'll take a look at the logs in a second in Super League A. But let's go to Hamilton's captain, Aubrey Coetzee. Get his feeling on how things went after the game. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Ons is definitief baie excited. Ons het nou 'n paar games agter die rug. 'n Paar was die kapspanne ook nou gespeel. Al 3 was die kapspanne actually nou na mekaar. Dit was definitief hard geweest en ek meen om dit bietjie hier uit te bring na die community toe. Niemand se homeveld nie. Dit is waar club rugby is. Om excitement oral heen te vat. Verseker, Ons het stadig begin, nie regtig momentum gehad nie. Ons het stadig begin bou, maar ek dink ons is nog nie daar wat ons wil wees nie. Maar soos ons vir almal wil wys, ons kan rugby speel, ons wil rugby speel. Die ouens by Hamiltons wil speel. En ek meen dis waaroor dit is. Ons moet net die momentum aanhou bou. Die momentum moet aanhou loop. Ons is nog nie regtig waar ons wil wees nie. Maar ons hoop net ons kan aan die einde kan ons daar wees en almal kan met smiles van die veld afloop.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, Aubrey Coetzee there talking to us a little bit. He's positive. Aubrey Coetzee, tell us a little bit about him, Robert.
Yeah, what a humble player. I mean, just busy with his studies, himself and Heinz Steenkamp, which is taking over our leadership in the seniors.
Yeah.
Just pure humble guys, and just play every game as if it is a final. I mean, they bring the energy. They're the ones that's the loudest, and that's what you need.
Well, we always love it when the captains are talking to us after the game. We know that that's positive because it's such role models, and we always encourage the clubs to make sure that they talk to us after the game, as with the coaches. We, of course, left your interview out because we knew you would be coming into the studio. Folks, UWC forwards coach JP Kellerman and their captain Lyle Hendricks also spoke to us after the game. Of course, both of them from UWC. JP Kellerman, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, and of course, no stranger to UWC. He played there for many years, and of course, old favourite of the show. Good friends of Cape Rugby TV. Let's hear what they had to say. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Yeah, I think for us it's important is our process. We're looking at our process and just giving guys opportunity. Because those that watched us, like you said, Varsity Cup, 10 games in a row, no buys, no breaks. But you need to deal with the hand that you're given. So for us, it's just sticking the process and giving guys opportunity. Because the previous year, there was no club rugby, just straight Varsity Cup and then Varsity Cup again. But now these guys are getting experience. I mean, if you play with locks that's 19, 20 years old in Super League A, like they say in Afrikaans, it will gedoen wees. So for us, it's just good that the guys, because experience is only something that you've been through. So I think that's what we're taking. Yes, you're going to take a few on the chin, but how are you going to learn? So that's the only way how to learn. Yeah, I think for us it's we need that, because if you look at the physicality that this presents, you don't get that in Varsity Cup. And yes, the tempo is a bit slower, but I think for us the key is just to learn from that. And I think we speak about play intelligence a lot. I touched on process, play intelligence. This is where you get play intelligence. When you've got 2 minutes left on the clock, what are you going to do? If you play against the wind, what are you going to do? So that's for us is what we're looking at. And at the end of the day, these guys are growing, and this is the future.
Yeah, I think coming from Varsity Cup, just to redeem ourselves in the Super League A, we're doing well so far, but just that big games that we just fall under pressure sometimes. Coming from a good victory last week, the boys were really on top and on the hype. And just keeping consistency is our goal going to the next season. Yeah, I mean the plan for now is just taking a 2-week break, a well-deserved break. I mean the exams is coming up, so we have to focus on that. We're all students, so yeah, when we get back, I think the focus is going to be there, and we can just obviously learn from our mistakes from the previous games, and also learn from what we did well as well. Yeah.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, there we go. Robert, you didn't perhaps play against JP, did you? Got a funny feeling you guys might have clashed heads somewhere in the past.
I thought about it now, and I have to think. As I said, it's about 20.
It's a long time ago. 20s. We don't expect you guys to remember all the details.
Yeah, but just his energy, JP, was just how that which him and Paul and those guys are trying to invest into UWC. It's and to hear Lyle Hendricks at the end, they're just saying that they're building also. I think it's a process everyone is going through at this stage.
Yeah, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for JP Kellerman. We've seen him play at club level. We've seen him play in the ranks together with Jerome Parvater as well in the team, and he's always got time for everybody. And that, folks, yes, let's move on. Folks, for those of you that are not aware, we of course have Iceberg aircons and compressors on board with Cape Rugby TV. Very important for you to find that time to go and get your car air conditioner serviced. Iceberg air conditioner, of course, do repairs and regas and full maintenance of your air conditioners. You do not want a situation where you run out of let's just say your aircon runs out of steam. Now is the ideal time for you to get those repairs in place or get your aircons serviced, the compressors checked. And Iceberg is a compressor and air conditioner service and repair company based in Montague Gardens and of course in Stickland, and they can solve all of your air conditioning, automobile air conditioning problems in one go. There's no outsourcing involved, and save yourself a lot of money, and of course make sure that you get this done before something happens, of course in preparation for summertime. It's also important to note from a motor vehicle aircon point of view, folks, that if something breaks there, it could stop your entire vehicle from operating. So Iceberg aircons and compressors, of course, in Stickland and Montague Gardens, they're your one-stop shop. They cover everything in one go. Make sure that you get hold of them for your automobile air conditioning service, repairs, regas, testing, tuning, the whole ball of wax. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll of course go to the match between Strand and Blue Jets. Big game. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. Great to have you along. In studio with me, Robert Olivier, of course, Hamilton's Rugby Club. Robert, it's fantastic to have you here. Nice for you to talk a little bit of club rugby. Time for us to take now a look at what's happening in Super League C. Strand up against Blue Jets. I don't suppose you've played against Strand or Blue Jets?
I haven't, personally.
Well, you're about to see the game, and we're going to need you to give some technical input here. Fernando Faviers, folks, in the Helderberg region, has been kind enough, again, to share some footage with us. Of course, Strand is playing in Super League C, is, of course, in the Helderberg region. Top of the log at the moment. We'll take a look at some of the logs in a second. Strand was up against Blue Jets. Let's take a look at the first half. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go. Half-time score then for Strand, leading 26 points to 0. Robert, your thoughts, just having a look at the game?
Yeah, like we said now when we were watching that clip, JP, it looked like a David Goliath being turned around, and Strand, which I believe is a lot of new blood in there, playing some excellent rugby, setting up their phases and then hitting the space.
Yeah.
Excellent try by their number 14 there. Yeah, it's just exciting to see a club lying at the top of their league. Well done, Strand.
Yeah. All right, folks, let's take a look at the second half. Who knows? Maybe Blue Jets turns it around, gets it back on track. And then, of course, don't forget, we'll be catching up with the head coach, Tembani Ngumbelanga, as well as Blue Jays captain Mayanda Siane. And, of course, Ali Harrison and Riyad Adams from Strand, after we take a look at the second half. Right, so end result there, then a big win for Strand over Blue Jets. I think we'll take a look at the logs in a second, folks, but if I recall correctly, Strand retained their top spot on the log. Robert, thoughts there? Good win, of course, for Strand, but they will know that the competition below them is knocking on the door.
Jamie, if you play decent rugby like that, there's always someone else that's coming for you in hunting. Strand, obviously, big back forwards, they put the ball up and they create space for their backs to score nice tries. Blue Jets, I know exactly how they're feeling after a game like that. We started our season like that, so it's somewhere something just needs to click, and then before you know it, you're back on track. And maybe I always tell my guys, just let's step back, let's earn the trust of the guys around us in the circle, and then let's start over.
Yeah, that's positive. That's what we look for, is positive. Not every game goes your way, and as long as there's positivity, and we know that Blue Jets is doing fantastic work as a club structure. Head coach Tembani Ngumbelanga is, of course, instrumental there, and we've seen such fantastic performances from the Blue Jets women's rugby side that is always in the spotlight. But let's catch up now with Tembani as well as Blue Jays captain Mayanda Siana, and possibly we'll go straight to Coach Ali Harrison, Strand captain Riyad Adams. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
The game was good, and we knew that when it came to Strand, we're coming from the running to a rugby. The boys are physical fit, they look small. Therefore, we knew that we must work out on our forwards. But telling you, we push up our forwards and do every streak that we knew and we prepared. Then we take an option of playing wide. It's whereby they open up. Then I learn a lesson. Then when we play with these boys, they're looking young, too young, but they are really strong. By the way, they give us a lesson now for running rugby. Our team, they used to play running rugby. Now we came to the champions of running rugby. We couldn't make it, but we learned a lesson.
On behalf of the Blue Jet, the game was hard. The boys give us a hard time, knowing that they are number one in the league. It was not going to be easy on this side, on this ground, especially this ground. Every time we come here, the boys give us some hard time, big hits.
Die game oor die algemeen vandag, Blue Jets. Ek is bietjie tevrede. Ons het gehou by ons structures. Ons defense het ons lekker gedra vandag. Ons het ons kansse gebruik wat ons gekry het. Dit maak hom aan happy. Ons het 'n groot game next week aan. Ek hooplik val alles in plek, soos dit vandag in plek geval het. Dis maar alles maar 'n proses, soos hulle sê. En ons doen redelik goed. Nie dat 'n mens wil bietjie sal ek sê, bietjie te gemaklik raak nie, maar ons is confident in ons abilities. En ek wil vir Blue Jays ook dankie sê vir die dag, vir die uitkom. Dit is nou 'n snaakse omstandighede dat ons op 'n Sondag moet speel. Maar nietemin, ons skare is tevrede, ek is tevrede, en dit is maar al wat ek by basies te sê het.
Ja, die game is die eerste keer wat ons op 'n Sondag speel, so as vir ons ook 'n experience, so ons maak eintlik history. Eerste keer dat 'n Sunday league is, maar as op die strange om 'n Sondag op te staan vir 'n game, so jy weet toe 'n ander team het gaan experience, maar hoe ek het ge-experience. So die game was alright. Ons het solank ons ding gedoen het, ons het maar net humble gebly en ons doen ons ding. Ja, as al julle paar jong manne soos ek as dit daar binne 20s, joh, hulle split stylities. So as van hulle wat hier kom en wat ek kan sê is hulle moet dop want as die future en hy future is bright.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, well, of course, as you know, every week we give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, all right? Score's, of course, on board with West Bromwich Club Rugby and the West Bromwich Club Rugby Sevens. Now, I've got Robert in studio with me. The way that you win this case of Score, or put yourself in the mix at least to win the case of Score, is by going to our Facebook page and giving a bash at the Spot the Ball competition, where we every week take a picture, we remove the ball, and then we say to you, can you spot the ball? This is on our Facebook. We get hundreds of comments. Now, according to our producer, Renzo Botman, he says, out of the hundreds of comments, only 8 people apparently got it right. Now, I've had a close look at this. Let's take a look, Robert, see if you have any chance at getting it right. Folks, so there you have it, A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, or C3. This, of course, looks to me like it was a picture taken of at the score, Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. I've got no idea, Robert. Have you? Would you like to hazard a guess? I will go with B2. Put it that way. I've got no idea. This is one of the toughest ones I've seen so far.
I mean, this is the closest I've been to the screen to look for Renzel's editing errors, but there is none. I'm tending to go for C1.
You're gonna go C1. Yeah.
But yeah, this is not. I mean, come on,
no,
Renzel,
this is a tough one. This is a tough one. But let's take a look there then. Where is the ball? And the ball, in fact, folks, as you can see on the screen now, the ball is in fact in B3. But there you can see it very, very slightly. Let's just go back to that, folks. If you look there, in fact, the ball is back just below the player in the top right-hand corner's yellow boot. And to the left of the player also, that's stretching across A3 and B3. So congratulations then to Ishmael Kelly. Ishmael, you walk away with a case of Score Energy drinks. Well done. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we catch up with the DHL Western Province women's rugby side. They're, of course, in preparation for the Bulls this coming weekend. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. It's great to have you along. Well, our DHL Western Province Rugby women's rugby side, as you know, keeps talking to us behind the scenes. We're very grateful to get behind the scenes at the High Performance Centre with the squad. Robert, have you had a chance to get down and watch any of the practice sessions of the women? You guys, of course, had the Hamiltons, had the women's rugby team playing against Boland at the Hammy squad. So you got a pretty good idea of how the team's doing.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of women teams coming out to the club playing. You know how beautiful that scenery is around us. And I've had the privilege of going down to visit the Stormer guys and then see the women's train.
Yeah.
Exciting, really exciting.
It is really fantastic, and of course our team is doing really well at the moment. But folks, we go behind the scenes, and then after that we'll catch up with their captain, Babal Walacha. She's of course otherwise known to us fondly as BB, and fly off Elmay Kruger and team manager Danelle Rousseau. But let's first take a look at the training. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, welcome back. Folks, of course, the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby Training Squad, it was a little bit wet at practice last night. The High Performance Centre, the squad is busy getting ready to play against the Bulls this coming weekend. That match is, of course, on Friday. Robert, the weather is starting to change a little bit now. We've had lekker sunny days. It's been warm, it's been dry, but the rain is starting to come. Do you think that our clubs and players are now having to get dressed a little bit warmer? Do you think the game plans are going to start changing?
We definitely feel the chill in the air now.
Yeah.
The damp at evening training. So yeah, rugby is a winter sport. We're in the beautiful Cape and it rains in the winter. So we need to adapt.
But how much is this going to impact the games? Is it going to slow the games down? Is it going to, do you think, I mean, the fields are going to start getting a little bit heavier?
So from a club perspective, we start looking at the weather on a Sunday morning already for the next Saturday's game, and we blow and we pray that it moves on. But it has probably an impact on what you're training, especially when it comes to your lineouts and your strike place. But I still think with the talent that we have in this Super League, for instance, there's more than enough talent that can play around with the wet
deal
ball.
with it. Yeah, folks. So we're talking about the weather, but of course our focus here is on the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby squad at the moment. Bibi Babal-Walacha spoke to us at the practice session last night. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Yeah, I think playing in the communities, bringing rugby to the spectators is always great. Before we played, there was a festival, a TENS festival that took place, and I think it's always great to have young girls see tangible potential in themselves and what Western Province women can do as well. Yeah, I'm very grateful to Thornburn Catering for providing these meals to us. We know as sports people that nutrition plays a big role in performance and your mental state. And we come from different places, different backgrounds. Some are from work, school, others are from home, where this could be the best meal that they can get today. So it plays a big role, and we're very grateful to Thornburn Catering for providing us with such. Yeah, we look forward to playing the Blue Bulls in Pretoria on their home turf. I think that last week is done. We are focused now into the future and looking forward to playing against Blue Bulls at altitude. It's going to be a big challenge, but I think we're looking forward to it and we're quite ready for it.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. DHL Western Province Women's Rugby captain Babal-Walacha, or as we know, BB, always talking from the front, leading from the front as well. And great to hear how positive they are about the new Thorburn-Sebo relationship that is looking after Western Province Rugby. Right, folks, well, of course, as you know, every week we take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Let me give you a little bit of a snapshot, so to speak. MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, of course, free, ample parking, helpful security personnel, always looking after their clientele, friendly atmosphere, they're clean, modern, and of course, very innovative establishment. MChem's focus, of course, primarily on healthcare, and as a professional team, which includes pharmacists, pharmacist assistants, nursing sisters, skincare therapists, and of course, podiatrists, and don't forget, of course, the sports nutrition zone upstairs. They've got the right quality products in place to help you with the best possible prices, and of course a wide range of products. And folks, by the way, if you go to MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, if they don't have the product there for you, they will get it for you. Of course, MChem's clinics, patients are able to obtain there at MChem a full fasting cholesterol analysis, of course, at the time of their appointments. Diabetic patients are able to have their sugar levels tested, and other tests, of course, at MChem also include tests such as liver functions, uric acid levels, and many more. And this is really important for you to know, folks, because as I said to you last week, you must know your numbers. You need to know your numbers so that you have got a good way of understanding your own health scenario. You want to avoid complications at a later stage. We said last week, if you knew lightning was going to strike you, step out the way. So important that you know your numbers, and this, of course, helps you with the preventative measures. For example, making sure that you have a healthy heart. And of course, the complementary health vitamin department at MChem's Health Zone is very comprehensive and includes full ranges of the most sought after natural health lines with staff available there to help you. Of course, don't forget about some of the other elements that MChem has in place, such as a footwear section. They've got a coffee shop upstairs. They've even got a photographic department. And folks, in case you left your wallet behind, or at least not your wallet behind, but you didn't bring cash with you, MChem has got an ATM upstairs. Of course, that's really convenient. I've many times gone to MChem and thought, I need to draw some cash, and there's a handy ATM there. Don't forget, of course, pet food, toys, and accessories. But remember what I said, know your numbers. So blood sugar, heart monitoring, all of these things to help you with those health care preventative measures. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Great to have you along. In studio with me is, of course, Robert Olivier, Hamilton's rugby coach. Robert, great to have you on the show. Yeah, we're just talking club rugby.
Yeah, thank you, JP. Yeah, it's just amazing to hear what is happening at the women's rugby. I just want to wish Danelle and the team all the best for the game against the Bulls on Friday. Yeah. Just keep the blue and white fly high there.
Big announcement at DHL Western Province Women's Rugby this past week was the announcement of the Thorburn and Tsebo relationship. They're now on board with Western Province Rugby as a sponsor to the Western Province Rugby squad, where the Tsebo Catering Solutions are now providing catering for the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby squad before practices. And this is a fantastic boost for the ladies, and of course, to tell us more about that, we spoke to Elmer Kruger as well as team manager Danelle Rousseau. Elmer currently plays fly-off for Western Province Rugby, and Danelle, of course, a team manager. But let's find out firsthand. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Yeah, I think Saturday was an amazing day at the office, based on the fact that they always say local is lekker. So it was great having a women's tournament at a local club where some of the Western Province players are actually participating as well on club level. And it was unlucky, it was hard luck for the Western Province ladies. We were disappointed, but coming back to the drawing board today, and there's a lot of positives that we can take out of the match. And you win some, you lose some. I mean, Border is always a big derby that's happening. And it was close, but I mean, a win is a win and a lose is a lose. So yeah, it was hard luck, but I mean, it's not the end. Yeah, it's really truly a great experience, a humbling experience to have someone like Thorburn catering on board. Like I said, in more than a decade that I've been involved with Western Province Rugby, we've never experienced something as humbling as this. I always say, if you've got a rugby jersey, you can play a game, but I mean, if you don't have nutrition in your tummy, it's hard to perform to your utmost best. And receiving a parcel that was so thoughtful and so nutrition, the nutrition was like jam-packed in there, and seeing the faces of the players is absolutely amazing. And getting into your car, leaving knowing that each and every player is going home with something, that they had as a meal, it's absolutely amazing.
I mean, you definitely, you learn more when you lose than when you win. There's what your work-ons are a lot easier to identify, and you can pick them up, put them into your training sessions, and at the end of the day, I think we'll come out a lot stronger after this. I mean, of course, it's sad that we didn't get the win. Of course, every Saturday you want to go out there, you want to play your best, come home with the win, but didn't happen this weekend. But we're going to pick ourselves up, come back even stronger for this next game, and just keep building forward again. Yeah, it's a great asset to be able to have. A lot of us, as you say, come from work, come from university, from whatever commitments, and there's not a lot of turnaround time in between work and rugby, or after rugby when you get home, especially with load shedding. You often now get home and you can't have that nice hot meal for you, so just having this as a top up to get you through, to keep you going, is a great help, and we really do appreciate it. I mean, yesterday there were smiles across the board, and people were just, there's a new energy in the group, seeing that there's another step available for us, and seeing that the union and the sponsors, they care for us, it's greatly appreciated.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, so a big boost there for Western Province Rugby, and of course, as you heard it then firsthand, catering now provided courtesy of Thorburn Security Solutions and Tsebo. It really is a fantastic partnership there with Western Province. But we also managed to speak firsthand to the Regional Managing Director from Thorburn Security, Daniel Leroux. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Renzel, thank you so much for the opportunity. For us, it's an absolute blessing to be involved. Thorburn is part of the Tsebo Solutions Group. and we are a proud sponsor providing catering for the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby team. Yeah, I think Thorburn encourages youth development, first of all, and the empowerment of women. So for us, that's very important. We also believe that sport is the perfect platform for us to develop leadership and also promote that amongst women. Yeah, I think one of the divisions under the Tsebo umbrella is catering, one of the divisions. And I think what I've heard yesterday was from Danelle, the manager, is that there was really humble beginnings where the women's rugby team has started. And that for us is really close to our hearts. We're looking to see the women's rugby team really go from strength to strength and to be a part of the journey. I think for us, providing the sustenance for these girls to really practice and to become a force to be reckoned with is an absolute honor. So we're looking to really give them some good food so that they can practice and become healthier, and also so that they can become a force to be reckoned with in the competition. We believe that they're playing the Blue Bulls next, and also some other very important teams. So they really need to have the energy to play, and therefore we're very proud and privileged to provide them with the sustenance to really give them the edge. I believe so. So thank you for the opportunity, and we believe that taking hands with Western Province Rugby and especially the women's team is going to really set the platform for us to grow with Western Province, with DHL Western Province Women's Rugby. Looking forward to the journey.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Amazing opportunity there, and a great partnership as Thorburn Security and Tsebo, or TS Africa Catering there, part of the Tsebo group, is now supporting the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby squad. Robert, I mean, this is very important from a high performance point of view, and you're playing at the level of our women's rugby team. You need these support partners.
Yeah, it's amazing if people come aboard and they're willing to give back into their community, in this case Western Province Rugby for the women. And obviously today any coach is looking for a little bit of an edge that takes you up against your opponent, and if it's substance and if it's fueling at certain times, hopefully the girls will thank Thorburn on Friday when they beat the Bulls.
All right, folks. Well, of course, club rugby time. A lot of results came in this weekend. Let's quickly take a look at the results, and we'll take a look at the fixtures. Running a little bit tight on time, but very important that we give you the heads up of what's coming up this weekend. But let's quickly look at the results then this past Saturday. Well, it was of course, Tygerberg with a win over Hamlets, 32 points to 10. A win for Hamilton's over UWC, as you saw. Durban beating Villages, 37 points to 20. And UCT with a win over SK Warmers, who make their first change back. Hands and Hearts beat Scottsdene. Belleville went down just narrowly to All Saints. And then Franschhoek beating Goodwood, while Langa bounced back with a 27-24 win over Collegians. And Young Peoples with a win over Primrose. In Super League C, wins there for Elsies Rivier, Eerste Rivier, as well as Macassar with a 1-point win over CPUT, while Kraaifontein beat Villages 32 points to 29. Rangers on the park in their first match, 27-24 over Morningstar, and Strand United went down to Kylemore, while it was a win for Strand over Blue Jets. Caledonian Roses then 21-7 over Western Zebras, with a win then for Gardens over Young Ideas. Hamadias in their derby match walk away with a victory there, 11-3, while it was a 15-12 win for Police over Silvertree. Rocklands with a win over Titans, and then Thistles going down to Laguna, and Young Stars with a win over Retreat in the Southern League. In the Northern League, we see Whistling Wheels going down to Van der Stel, a win for Solarians over Manenberg Rangers, and Young Wesley's 41-7 over Excelsior. Metro League saw a big win for Fora over Bishop Lavis, while Visanta Kral took the points over against Watsonia. Young Standards in the Paarl region with a win over Simbondium, and then Paarl Rangers 25-16 over Young Gardens, while Parel United went down to Lower Paarl. Right, folks, so those are, of course, your results over the past, at least from last weekend. Let's quickly take a look at the logs. We're going to give you the top three in each league. Super League ACs, UCT, Marties, and Unimil sitting on the top of the pile. And then in Super League B, Bellar, Helderberg, Hands and Hearts, and Belleville, while it's Strand, Macassar, Albions, and Kraaifontein in Super League C. And then, of course, in the City League, it's Masiphumelele, Police, and Hamadias. Rocklands, Laguna, Noordlikers, and Atlantis are certainly the top four in the Southern League. And in the Northern League, it's Van der Stel, Blakes, Solarians, and Young Wesleys. In the Metro League, Gordons Bay Pioneers are still sitting at the top of the pile. They've only lost one game, with Lamont Wanderers with 4 plays under the belt and also only one game down. For Santa Clara and Temperance hot on their heels. In the Paarl region, it's 5 out of 5 so far for the Paarl Rangers, followed by Young Standards, Lower Paarl and Simondium. So no log changes there in the Paarl region this past weekend. Super League A, some big games coming up this coming weekend. We'll bring Robert into the picture here now. But this coming weekend in Super League A, we see NTK take on Paarl. Falls Bay will be hosting Kales River. Durbell are going to be up against Unimil, Hamilton's and Brackenfell. And then SK Warmers and Hamlet. Robert, if we look at some of the big games there, or at least interesting games, a big game is going to be Durbell and Unimil.
Definitely. Definitely one to look. Hopefully they'll share it with the supporters out there. But definitely going to be a big clash. Two teams that's on top of their game. It's going to be a heavy one.
SK Warmers got their first match out of the way this past weekend. They take on Hamlets. They'll be happy to get back on the field.
Yeah, they'll get their bounce back. I mean, I see them training. They train on one of the far fields there close to us. And obviously, always nice to see SK. They bring a new dimension, different dimension. They run the ball. So yeah, they'll get back.
Let's take a look now at the fixtures coming up in Super League B this weekend, folks. Well, some big matches on the cards and a few clubs looking to get themselves underway. Goodwood against Young Peoples. Franschhoek and Collegians, Belhaan, Scottsdene, Busy Bees and All Saints and Helderberg are hosting Primrose. In Super League C, we see Kylemore up against Albions, Blue Stars Rangers, Strand United and Peniel Villagers, CPUT and Blue Jets, Morningstar and Eerste-Rivier, Kraaifontein and Elsiersrivier, and then Strand are going to be hosting Macassar. Police are up against Hamadiers in the City League this weekend, folks. Gardens and Masi Pumelele, Caledonian Roses, and Violets and Young Ideas and Silvertree. I think you pretty much look out for a bit of a derby match there in the Callies and Violets game, folks. Definitely going to have certainly have a derby feel to it. In the Northern League, we see Stellenbosch Coronations up against Whistling Wheels. Delft take on Excelsior, and then Windmill United are going to be travelling to Manenberg Rangers. Young Wesley's taking on Van der Stel. In the Metro League, Fora travel to Silverleaf, and Visanta Kraal up against Perseverance. And of course, it's going to be all action this weekend. Robert, thank you very much for joining us on the show. It's been fantastic to have you here. Really great to have club rugby coaches coming in and sitting with us and talking to us about club rugby. You all know each other, you all talk the same language.
Thanks, JB. We appreciate you guys for what you do for club rugby. You're taking it out there. We have family and friends all over the world that tune in on 9 o'clock on 263 just to watch this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, we're grateful to have you guys play the game so that we can talk about you. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us this evening. Can't wait to see you on the park this weekend. Join us again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.